The unlikely sacrifice. On the desolate planet of Rikon 7, under a dark sky illuminated by glowing moons, an unsettling tension filled the air. The massive arena stood at the heart of the capital city, surrounded by towering structures of alien design, pulsating with energy. Tonight was unlike any other, for the Ryans, fierce aliens with shimmering blue skin and imposing stature, gathered in droves, their eyes glinting with excitement. They had come to witness a spectacle, one that showcased their dominance over the humans, a ritual that would send a chilling message to their enemies. At the center of the arena, a small figure stood trembling. Taro, a 7-year-old human boy, was dressed in ragged clothing that hung loosely from his tiny frame. His wide brown eyes darted nervously around the arena, taking in the hostile faces of the Ryans who filled the stands. He was scared and confused, having been ripped from his village and brought here as a sacrifice to the most feared creature in the galaxy, the Wolf Star. The Ryans had long engaged in a bitter war with humanity, yet a fragile peace lingered on the edges. This offering was meant to remind the humans of their place, to prove that they were weak and expendable. As the heavy iron gate on the far side of the arena began to rise, a low growl reverberated through the air, sending a chill down Taro's spine. The Wolf Star was coming. The crowd fell silent, anticipation palpable as the monstrous beast emerged from the shadows. Towering and muscular, with fur as black as night, the Wolf Star exuded an aura of primal power. Its eyes glowed red like burning coals, fixated on Taro, who stood frozen in place. The boy's heart raced, fear wrapping around him like a suffocating blanket. The tales of the Wolf Star haunted Taro's nightmares. It was said to be a beast that could tear through armies with ease, a creature that even the Ryans feared. He felt completely alone, surrounded by alien warriors who regarded him as nothing more than prey for their monstrous pet. The audience awaited the inevitable, their voices rising in cruel laughter as they imagined the boy's terror. But as the Wolf Star approached, something unexpected happened. Instead of charging at Taro with wild hunger, the beast slowed down, its massive head lowering as it sniffed the air. Confusion rippled through the crowd. This was not the outcome they had anticipated. Taro stared up at the beast, terror mingling with curiosity. The Wolf Star's breath was hot against his face, and its glowing eyes scanned him, as if searching for something deeper. Taro's heart thundered in his chest. He expected the beast to lunge at him, to roar and consume him in a frenzy of violence. But instead, a strange calm washed over him. The Wolf Star nudged him gently with its snout, a gesture that both bewildered and comforted the boy. Gasps filled the arena as the crowd collectively realized that their fearsome creature had not followed the expected script. From the stands, General Zavos, the commander of the Ryans, rose in fury, his voice booming like thunder. "What is this? Kill the child. Obey." But the Wolf Star ignored his command, its attention focused entirely on Taro. Gathering a flicker of courage, Taro reached out a hand. His fingers brushed against the creature's coarse, worn fur. The Wolf Star didn't pull away. Instead, it leaned into Taro's touch, as if acknowledging a bond that transcended fear. The crowd erupted in chaos, their expectations shattered. This was not merely a show of brutality. Something profound was happening. As Taro continued to pet the Wolf Star, he felt an inexplicable connection to the beast. He sensed intelligence behind those glowing eyes, perhaps even a longing for something more than violence. "Release the shockers. Make it attack." Zavos roared, desperation lacing his commands. Rikon soldiers aimed long, spear-like weapons toward the Wolf Star. The weapons hummed ominously, and arcs of electricity crackled through the air, striking the beast. It howled in pain, its body jerking violently from the shock. For a moment, Taro feared the Wolf Star would retaliate, driven mad by the pain. Yet, even in agony, the creature's gaze remained on him. The Wolf Star's instincts kicked in. It twisted toward the source of the electricity, and with a single powerful leap, charged at the guards. The soldiers were no match for its fury. With a swift motion, the beast dispatched the first guard, its jaws crushing the weapon as if it were made of paper. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of shouts, disbelief washing over them. Their prized creature was turning against them. Taro stood paralyzed in the center of the arena, watching in awe as the wolf star defended him. As the beast fought off the guards, it never once turned its fury on Taro, who could only marvel at the unexpected alliance forming between them. They were both outcasts in a cruel game, bound together by circumstance. General Zavos, witnessing the chaos, struggled to maintain control. "This is a trick. A human trick," he shouted, but his voice was met with confusion. The soldiers hesitated, unsure how to proceed against a creature they had always viewed as an extension of their will. As Taro placed his hand on the wolf star's massive head, he felt its breath slow, a rhythm of calmness replacing the tension that had gripped the arena. The creature, once a symbol of terror, had transformed into a guardian. In that moment, Taro understood. They were both trapped in a world that underestimated them, and together they would forge a new path. But Zavos would not be easily deterred. "Subdue the beast. Take the human," he commanded, his anger boiling over. Soldiers began to advance, weapons raised, ready to capture Taro and reclaim their monstrous pet. Fear surged through Taro, but it was swiftly replaced by determination. He couldn't let them take the wolf star away. Sensing the imminent danger, the wolf star growled low, nudging Taro again, urging him to climb onto its back. Taro hesitated for a heartbeat, his mind racing with the weight of his decision. But as he saw the soldiers closing in, he scrambled onto the beast's broad shoulders, clutching its thick fur tightly. The wolf star let out a thunderous roar, a sound that shook the very foundations of the arena. With astonishing speed, the wolf star bounded toward the far side of the arena, dodging energy blasts that whizzed past them. The soldiers were caught off guard, their shots going wide as the beast zigzagged through the chaos. Taro felt exhilarated, his fear melting away as he rode the powerful creature, feeling alive in a way he never had before. With a final, mighty leap, the wolf star launched itself toward the towering arena walls. Claws dug into stone as it scaled the heights, and in a heartbeat, they were over the edge and into the night sky, disappearing into the dense forests that surrounded the city. Shouts of disbelief echoed below, but Taro could barely hear them over the rush of wind in his ears. They ran through the dark forest, the wolf star navigating the treacherous terrain with ease. Trees and rocks blurred past them, but Taro felt an overwhelming sense of freedom. The creature moved with purpose, as if it knew exactly where to go. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the wolf star slowed, guiding them to a hidden cave nestled in the mountains. Inside, the cave was cool and dark, a sanctuary from the chaos of the outside world. As the wolf star gently lowered Taro to the ground, the boy's legs wobbled beneath him, still reeling from the adrenaline of their escape. The beast watched him closely, its glowing eyes filled with an emotion Taro couldn't quite decipher. Concern, perhaps. "Thank you," Taro whispered, unsure if the wolf star could understand him, but the gratitude spilled from his heart. The creature huffed softly, lowering its massive head to be level with Taro. In that moment, a bond was forged, one that would transcend the boundaries of fear and expectation. They were no longer mere child and beast. They were partners in a world that sought to divide them. But even as they found temporary refuge in the cave, Taro knew their journey had only just begun. The Ryans would not stop searching for them, and he sensed there was something deeper to the wolf star, a history intertwined with his own, a connection that would lead them to uncover truths hidden in the shadows of the galaxy. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, discovering their strength not just in survival, but in the unexpected power of friendship. The hidden truths. The cave's cool air wrapped around Taro like a protective cloak as he sat on the smooth stone floor, catching his breath after their harrowing escape. The darkness felt comforting, a stark contrast to the chaos and brutality they had just fled. The wolf star paced nearby, its massive form casting shifting shadows against the cave walls. Taro marveled at the creature, once feared as a mindless beast, now his unexpected ally. "What do we do now?" Taro whispered to the wolf star, half hoping for a reply. The creature paused, turning its head slightly, its glowing eyes locking onto his. It let out a low rumble that resonated deep within Taro's chest, a sound that felt almost communicative, as if the wolf star was attempting to bridge the gap between their worlds. Taro felt a spark of understanding, a flicker of hope igniting within him. As the silence of the cave enveloped them, Taro's thoughts began to race. He remembered the tales told by the elders in his village, stories of humans and Ryans at war, of the wolf star used as a weapon of destruction. But now, sitting here with this magnificent creature, he wondered if there was more to the story. Why had the wolf star chosen to protect him? What had drawn it to him instead of following its training to kill? Feeling the weight of the silence, Taro decided to explore deeper into the cave, needing to distract himself from the uncertainty of their situation. He stood up, still slightly shaky, and ventured further into the shadows. The cave opened up, revealing expansive chambers adorned with ancient symbols carved into the walls. They glowed faintly, illuminating the space with an otherworldly light. Taro felt an inexplicable pull toward them, as if they were calling out to him. "What is this place?" he murmured, reaching out to touch one of the carvings. The cool stone felt alive beneath his fingertips, and a surge of energy coursed through him. The wolf star followed closely, its presence comforting and vigilant, watching as Taro explored. Each symbol seemed to tell a story, one that had been lost to time. Taro felt a connection to them, as if they spoke of ancient alliances and forgotten histories. He traced the lines with his fingers, and a sudden vision filled his mind, a vast landscape of lush forests and towering mountains, where humans and the wolf star once roamed freely together. In this vision, the wolf star was not a creature of war, but a protector and companion. Taro gasped, pulling his hand away. "Is this real?" he asked the wolf star, who stood silently beside him, its glowing eyes filled with an ancient wisdom. As Taro pondered the meaning of the carvings, the wolf star moved closer, nudging him gently. It seemed to understand his confusion. With newfound courage, Taro spoke again. "You're not just a monster, are you? You were forced into this life, just like me." The wolf star let out a soft huff, almost in agreement, and Taro felt a rush of empathy wash over him. He realized they were both victims of circumstance, trapped in a world that sought to divide them. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed from outside the cave, snapping Taro back to reality. Panic surged through him. "They're coming for us," he exclaimed, turning to the wolf star. The creature's eyes widened, and it lowered itself protectively in front of Taro, muscles tensed, ready to defend him. Taro's heart raced as he crouched behind the massive form of the wolf star, feeling a mix of fear and determination. The footsteps grew closer, and Taro could hear voices murmuring in the distance. The Ryans were on the hunt, searching for the child who had escaped their grasp and the beast that had betrayed them. Taro's mind raced. He needed a plan, and he needed it fast. He glanced around the cave, searching for a way out. "We can't stay here," he whispered urgently. "We have to find another way." The wolf star seemed to sense Taro's anxiety. It turned, nudging a narrow opening in the cave wall with its snout. The passageway was hidden behind a cluster of rocks, nearly invisible to the untrained eye. Taro's heart leaped at the sight of it. "Yes, that's perfect," he exclaimed, scrambling to follow the creature as it moved through the narrow space. The tunnel was dark and cramped, but it felt safe compared to the danger lurking outside. As they navigated the twisting path, Taro felt the rush of adrenaline coursing through him. He had never experienced anything like this before, adventure mingled with fear, the thrill of the unknown pushing him forward. "We're going to be okay," he told himself, and the wolf star seemed to echo that sentiment with a low growl of encouragement. Finally, they emerged from the tunnel into a hidden grove, bathed in moonlight. The clearing was a sanctuary, surrounded by towering trees that swayed gently in the night breeze. Taro gasped, taking in the beauty of their surroundings. "Look at this place," he said in awe. It felt untouched by the chaos of the Rykon city, a secret haven where they could catch their breath. The wolf star stepped forward, sniffing the air. Its posture relaxed slightly, and Taro sensed that the creature felt safe here too. They were away from the Ryan soldiers, at least for now. Taro knelt down to the ground, running his fingers through the soft grass. "What should we do next?" he asked, looking up at the wolf star. The creature tilted its head, as if considering the question. Suddenly, a thought struck Taro. "If we can find out more about the symbols in the cave, maybe we can understand your past. Maybe there's a way to change things for both of us." The wolf star let out a soft growl, almost like a purr, and Taro took that as a sign of agreement. They needed to uncover the hidden truths of their worlds, truths that had been buried beneath layers of fear and misunderstanding. As they settled into the grove, Taro began to gather small branches and leaves, building a makeshift fire pit. He had learned from his village how to start a fire, and he felt a sense of purpose wash over him. The warmth of the flames would not only provide comfort, but also a beacon of hope. With the wolf star watching curiously, Taro struck flint against stone, igniting the kindling until flames danced in the darkness. "Look," Taro exclaimed, grinning as the fire crackled to life. The wolf star stepped closer, intrigued by the flickering light. Taro felt a surge of pride. "We did it," he said, beaming up at the creature. The fire illuminated the area around them, casting shadows that flickered like spirits in the night. With the fire now crackling softly, Taro felt a sense of calm settle over him. He sat cross-legged on the ground, looking at the wolf star who lay beside him, its large frame a comforting presence. "I think we need to make a plan," Taro began, his voice steady. "If we can learn more about the Ryans and their history with your kind, maybe we can find a way to unite humans and the wolf star." The wolf star's ears perked up, and Taro took that as encouragement. "We could find other humans who might know more about the legends," he continued. "If the stories in the cave are true, there might be others who understand what's happening. Together, we could change the way humans and Ryans see each other." As Taro spoke, he noticed the wolf star's gaze drift to the surrounding forest, its instincts ever alert. He realized that they were not just planning their next move, they were also forging a new path for their kind. The boy and the beast were becoming symbols of change, and with that thought, a new determination ignited within him. Just then, a rustling sound broke the stillness of the grove, causing Taro's heart to race. He glanced at the wolf star, whose muscles tensed in response to the noise. "Stay alert," he whispered, feeling the tension in the air. They were not out of danger yet. As the shadows shifted around them, Taro's mind raced with possibilities. What if it was the Ryans? What if they had followed them? The rustling grew louder, and Taro braced himself, ready for anything. But as the darkness shifted, it revealed not Ryans but a small creature, a rabbit, with soft fur and big, curious eyes. Taro laughed, the tension breaking as the rabbit cautiously approached the fire, drawn to its warmth. "See," he said, smiling at the wolf star, "even the forest trusts us." The wolf star relaxed, its gaze shifting back to Taro, and the boy felt a wave of relief. Perhaps this grove was a true sanctuary, a place where they could gather their thoughts and plot their next move without the looming threat of the Ryans. As they watched the rabbit curiously nibble on the grass, Taro realized how fragile life could be. He thought of his village and the fear that gripped it under the shadow of the Ryans. But with the wolf star by his side, he felt an unshakable bond forming, one that would carry them through whatever lay ahead. They were not just a boy and a beast. They were a team, ready to take on the galaxy. "Let's rest for now," Taro suggested, feeling the exhaustion from their escape settle in. The wolf star lay down beside him, its presence a comforting weight. As Taro closed his eyes, he felt hopeful for the first time since being captured. In the heart of the forest, with the crackling fire casting warmth around them, Taro knew they were on the brink of something extraordinary. In the coming days, they would seek the truth hidden within the cave's symbols, uncovering the connection between humans and wolf stars. Together, they would challenge the narratives that had kept them apart for so long, forging an alliance that could change the fate of their worlds. And as Taro drifted into sleep, he dreamt of a future where humans and wolf stars stood united against their common foes, their spirits intertwined in a bond that transcended fear. The journey of discovery. The morning sun broke through the dense canopy of trees, casting dappled light across the hidden grove. Taro awoke to the soft rustling of leaves and the warmth of the sun on his face. Beside him, the wolf star lay peacefully, its powerful form a reassuring presence in the stillness of the forest. Taro blinked away the remnants of sleep, feeling a sense of determination swell within him. Today was the day they would begin their quest for knowledge. As he rose to his feet, Taro stretched and took a moment to appreciate the beauty around him. The forest was alive with sounds. Birds chirping, leaves rustling in the gentle breeze, and the distant gurgle of a stream. It was a stark contrast to the chaos of the arena and the Ryan city, where danger lurked at every corner. Here, amidst the towering trees and vibrant flora, he felt a deep sense of peace and purpose. "Let's see what we can find," Taro said, glancing at the wolf star, who had now awakened, its glowing eyes alert and attentive. The creature rose to its feet, shaking off the remnants of sleep as it prepared to follow Taro's lead. They had a mission: to uncover the hidden truths that could bridge the divide between humans and the Ryans. As they made their way through the forest, Taro couldn't shake the feeling that the symbols in the cave held secrets waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps there were more remnants of the past scattered throughout the wilderness, clues to help them understand the connection between the wolf stars and humanity. "If we can find something similar to what we saw in the cave, maybe we can piece together a history that the Ryans have tried to erase," he mused aloud. The wolf star padded silently beside him, its keen senses alert to the subtleties of the forest. Taro felt a rush of excitement. Each step they took was filled with the promise of discovery. They ventured deeper into the woods, following the gentle sound of the stream. As they approached, the air grew cooler, and the scent of damp earth mingled with the sweetness of wildflowers. When they reached the stream, Taro knelt down, cupping his hands to drink the cool water. "It's refreshing," he said, savoring the taste. The wolf star lowered its massive head, drinking from the stream, its powerful jaws lapping at the water. Taro chuckled, appreciating the sight. "We make a good team, don't we?" Once they had quenched their thirst, Taro looked around, searching for anything that might resemble the symbols they had encountered in the cave. He noticed the rocky outcrops that lined the stream and the way the sunlight glinted off the water's surface. Inspiration struck him. What if the symbols are not just in the cave? What if they are part of nature itself? He began to search the area, running his fingers over the rocks and peering into the crevices. The wolf star followed him closely, ever watchful. As Taro examined a particularly large rock, he noticed faint etchings on its surface, lines and curves that resembled the symbols he had seen before. "Look," he exclaimed, excitement bubbling within him. "There are symbols here." The wolf star approached, its nose touching the rock, sniffing curiously. Taro traced the lines with his fingers, feeling a connection to the past. "These must be ancient markings," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "They might tell the story of the wolf stars and their relationship with humans." As he continued to explore, Taro noticed that some of the symbols depicted scenes of humans and wolf stars together, roaming the forests as allies. They appeared to be hunting, playing, and sharing moments of companionship. A surge of joy filled Taro's heart. "This is incredible. It shows that we once lived in harmony." The wolf star let out a low rumble, and Taro looked up, sensing the creature's energy shift. It seemed to resonate with the symbols as if it recognized its own history. "Do you feel it too?" Taro asked, his voice a mix of awe and excitement. The wolf star nodded its massive head, and Taro couldn't help but smile. They were uncovering something monumental, a shared history that transcended their current struggles. With newfound determination, Taro continued to study the markings, piecing together the story they told. It looks like there was a time when humans and wolf stars worked together, protecting the forests from invaders, he theorized. But something changed. Something drove a wedge between our worlds. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting warm rays across the stream, Taro knew they needed to gather more evidence. We have to find more of these symbols. If we can gather enough, maybe we can convince others that we can coexist with the wolf stars, he suggested, his voice filled with conviction. The wolf star seemed to understand, its eyes sparkling with a mixture of pride and determination. Together, they resumed their exploration, moving along the stream, scanning the rocky banks and surrounding trees. The forest began to feel like a treasure trove of forgotten stories, each corner waiting to reveal its secrets. After a while, they stumbled upon a larger clearing, where the remnants of what seemed to be an ancient campsite lay scattered across the ground. Charred stones and the remnants of a fire pit indicated that this had once been a place of gathering. Taro's heart raced as he approached, excitement coursing through him. This could be another clue. As he rummaged through the area, he uncovered more signs of a long-lost connection. Broken pottery, fragments of tools, and even small figurines depicting wolf stars adorned with intricate designs were scattered among the underbrush. These must have been created by people who revered the wolf stars. Taro exclaimed, holding up a small figurine that depicted a wolf star standing proudly. The wolf star observed closely, its eyes locked onto the figurine. Taro felt a rush of warmth, realizing that this was a tangible connection to the past. "We need to take these with us," he said, placing the figurine carefully in his satchel. "They might help tell the story of our bond." As they prepared to leave the clearing, Taro noticed something glinting in the sunlight, partially buried beneath a layer of leaves. Curiosity piqued. He knelt down to uncover it. As he pulled away the foliage, he revealed an ornate medallion, intricately carved with similar symbols. It shimmered with an ethereal glow, and Taro felt a strange energy emanating from it. "Wow," he breathed, holding it up to the light. "This is amazing. It must be an ancient relic." The wolf star stepped closer, its eyes fixed on the medallion, as if recognizing its significance. Taro felt a wave of emotion wash over him. This could be the key to understanding the bond between our peoples. He placed the medallion in his satchel alongside the figurine and looked around, feeling a growing sense of purpose. "We need to find others like us, humans who understand the truth, who are willing to fight for a better future," he said, determination setting in. As they began their journey back, Taro's mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. He knew that the Rams would not give up easily, but he felt an unshakable resolve to share their discoveries. If he could find allies, they could challenge the misconceptions that had divided humans and wolf stars for so long. Just as they were about to leave the clearing, Taro heard a rustling sound again. His heart sank, fear creeping back in. Could it be the Ryans? He whispered, glancing at the wolf star, whose muscles tensed in response. They were so close to uncovering the truth, but would they be able to protect it? The rustling grew louder, and from the underbrush emerged a small group of humans. Taro's heart raced as he recognized familiar faces, friends and neighbors from his village, their expressions a mix of relief and astonishment. "Taro," one of them called, stepping forward. "We thought you were lost." Taro was overwhelmed with joy. "I can't believe you're here," he exclaimed, glancing nervously at the wolf star. Would they accept his new companion? But to his surprise, the humans showed no fear. They seemed intrigued by the majestic creature standing by Taro's side. "Is this the wolf star?" Another villager asked, awe evident in their voice. "The one they say is a monster." Taro nodded, feeling proud. "But it's not what you think, it's my friend. We're trying to uncover the truth." As Taro explained their journey and the discoveries they had made, the villagers listened intently. He shared the symbols, the relics, and the vision of unity that he envisioned. If we can gather enough evidence, we can change the way our people view the wolf stars, he urged. We can bring harmony back to our world. The villagers exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. But the Ryans, one began hesitating. They won't allow it. They see the wolf stars as weapons. Taro took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their fear. I know, he replied. But if we stand together, we can show them that we're strongly united. The wolf star chose to protect me. It has the capacity for compassion, just like we do. One of the villagers, a woman named Mira, stepped forward. You're right, Taro. We've been living in fear for too long. If we want to change the narrative, we have to start now. Taro's heart swelled with hope. We can create a council, humans and wolf stars together. We'll gather our stories, our symbols, and show everyone that we can coexist. The villagers nodded in agreement, their spirits lifting as they considered the possibilities. They were ready to fight for a future where humans and wolf stars could walk side by side. With a renewed sense of purpose, Taro turned to the wolf star, who stood patiently beside him. We're not alone anymore, he said, his voice steady. The wolf star let out a low growl of approval, and Taro knew they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. As they prepared to leave the clearing, Taro felt a sense of unity among them. They were no longer just a boy and a beast, but a movement, a force determined to reshape the future of their worlds. Together, they would uncover the truths of the past and forge a new path toward understanding and compassion. With the medallion and figurine securely in his satchel, Taro led the way back through the forest, flanked by his friends and the wolf star. The sun shone brightly above them, illuminating the path ahead, a path filled with possibilities, hope, and the promise of a brighter future. The journey of discovery had only just begun, and Taro was ready to embrace whatever came next, fueled by the strength of friendship and the bonds that could not be broken. The Council of Allies. The sun began to set as Taro and his companions emerged from the forest, the horizon ablaze with hues of orange and purple. The village lay before them, a patchwork of humble homes and flickering lanterns that illuminated the paths where families gathered for evening meals. Taro felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. He had shared his dream of unity with the villagers, but now it was time to show them the reality of his vision. As they entered the village, word spread quickly. Villagers gathered, their faces a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. They whispered among themselves, casting glances at the wolf star, who stood tall and regal at Taro's side. Taro could sense the uncertainty in the air, but he was determined to share the truth he had uncovered. He needed to convince them that the wolf star was not their enemy, but a potential ally. Everyone, please gather, Taro called, his voice rising above the murmur of the crowd. I have something important to share. The villagers slowly formed a circle, their expressions a blend of wariness and intrigue. Taro took a deep breath, looking at the familiar faces of his friends and neighbors. I know many of you fear the wolf star, but I urge you to listen to me. It has shown me kindness, and together we have discovered the truth about our past. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the crowd. How can we trust it? One man shouted, his voice heavy with skepticism. The Ryans use the wolf stars as weapons. They have brought only destruction to our villages. I understand your fear, Taro replied, feeling the weight of their history. But what if the stories we've been told are only half the truth? The wolf stars were once companions to humans, protecting the forests and the people from invaders. We have been divided by fear, but we can change that. The villagers exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. Taro pressed on. Together, we can form a council, a group of humans and wolf stars working side by side. We can gather the evidence we need to show everyone that there is a different path forward. At that moment, Mira stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. Taro is right. We can't let fear dictate our future. If we want to change the way our people view the wolf stars, we must be brave enough to take that first step. The crowd fell silent, contemplating Mira's words. Taro felt a surge of hope. We've already found symbols and relics that tell a story of unity, he continued. If we can gather more evidence, we can show the Ryans, and our own people, that the wolf stars are more than just weapons. They are creatures of loyalty and strength. Slowly, the tension in the air began to dissipate. More villagers stepped forward, nodding in agreement. "I'll help," one woman said, her voice rising above the rest. "We've all lost too much to let fear control us." "I want to learn more," another villager added, his eyes bright with curiosity. "If there is a chance to work together, I'm in." As more and more villagers voiced their support, Taro felt a rush of excitement. It was happening. The dream he had envisioned was becoming a reality. "Thank you," he said, gratitude swelling in his chest. "Together we will gather the stories, the symbols, and create a council that can bridge the divide." With the villagers' support, Taro felt a renewed sense of purpose. "Let's meet tomorrow at dawn," he suggested. "We can discuss how to organize our efforts and gather more evidence." As the crowd dispersed, Taro turned to the wolf star, who had been watching quietly. "Did you see that?" he exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face. "We did it. They're willing to listen." The wolf star let out a soft rumble, as if echoing Taro's excitement. Together, they made their way to Taro's home, where he could share his discoveries in greater detail. The fire pit outside crackled with warmth, and the scent of roasting meat wafted through the air, drawing Taro's family and friends to the gathering place. "Welcome home, Taro," his mother called, her voice filled with relief. She rushed to embrace him, her eyes scanning the area for signs of danger. "We were so worried about you." "I'm okay, Mom," Taro reassured her, smiling. "I have something amazing to show you." He gestured to the wolf star, who stood proudly beside him. "This is my friend, and together we're going to change everything." The villagers gathered around, their curiosity piqued. Taro carefully took out the relics he had found, the figurine and the ornate medallion, holding them up for everyone to see. "Look at what we discovered," he said, excitement bubbling in his voice. "These symbols tell a story of a time when humans and wolf stars lived together in harmony." Gasps of amazement spread through the crowd as they examined the artifacts. Taro explained their significance, recounting the vision he had seen in the cave and the history they hinted at. "If we can find more relics like these, we can show the world that we are not enemies. We can be allies." As the evening progressed, Taro felt a growing sense of camaraderie among the villagers. They shared stories of their own encounters with wolf stars, both fearful and hopeful. With each tale, they began to shift their perspective, realizing that perhaps the wolf stars were not the monsters they had always believed them to be. As night fell and stars filled the sky, Taro proposed a plan. "Let's split into groups," he suggested. "Some can search the forest for more symbols, while others can gather stories from the elders. We need to understand the history of our people and the wolf stars." The villagers eagerly nodded, ready to take action. Mira volunteered to lead one group, while another neighbor, Eldrin, stepped forward to organize a storytelling circle with the elders. Taro felt a wave of gratitude for the support surrounding him. They were all committed to a cause greater than themselves. As the fire crackled and stories were exchanged, Taro took a moment to step aside with the wolf star, who watched the gathering with keen interest. "I can't believe this is happening," Taro said, his heart swelling with pride. "We're not just fighting for our lives anymore, we're fighting for a future." The wolf star leaned closer, its eyes glowing softly in the firelight. Taro felt a connection between them, a bond that transcended words. In that moment, he understood that they were not just allies. They were part of a larger tapestry of existence, woven together by hope and courage. As the stars twinkled overhead, Taro made a silent promise to himself. They would gather the evidence, tell their stories, and create a council that would not only bridge the gap between humans and wolf stars, but would also challenge the very foundations of the war that had torn them apart. The night passed quickly, filled with laughter and determination. Plans were set, and as dawn broke, Taro felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had a long journey ahead, but he knew that with each step, they would uncover the truth and pave the way for a future where humans and wolf stars stood united. As they gathered the next morning, Taro felt a sense of pride wash over him. The villagers had come together, ready to embark on this new journey. "This is just the beginning," he said, his voice filled with conviction. "Together we will make our mark on history." With the wolf star by his side and the support of his community, Taro felt unstoppable. They were ready to challenge the past, rewrite the narrative, and create a future where kindness and understanding reigned supreme. As they set out into the forest once more, he couldn't help but feel that they were on the cusp of something extraordinary, an alliance that would change the course of their worlds forever. The gathering storm. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting golden rays over the village, Taro and the villagers set out on their mission. A sense of excitement and determination filled the air as they divided into groups, each tasked with gathering stories and searching for more relics that could bridge the divide between humans and wolf stars. Taro felt a wave of energy coursing through him. Today was the beginning of a new chapter for both their peoples. Taro and the wolf star moved together, heading toward the forest where they had discovered the first set of symbols. "We should search the area around the stream again," Taro suggested, feeling a sense of urgency. There could be more hidden relics waiting to be found. The wolf star nodded, its eyes gleaming with understanding. Together, they plunged into the heart of the woods, the sounds of nature enveloping them like an embrace. As they traversed the forest, Taro couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. Just days ago, he had been a scared boy, dragged into an arena to face a terrifying fate. Now he was leading a movement, standing beside a creature once feared, but now cherished as a friend. Taro felt a swell of gratitude for the wolf star's unwavering loyalty. "We're going to change everything," he promised softly, and the creature responded with a low growl, as if to affirm their shared goal. Reaching the stream, they resumed their search. The water sparkled in the sunlight, and Taro scanned the rocky banks, hoping to uncover more evidence of their shared past. He knelt down, running his fingers over the stones, feeling a connection to the ancient history etched into the landscape. The wolf star moved nearby, its keen senses attuned to the surrounding sounds, ever vigilant. After some time, Taro's persistence paid off. "Look," he exclaimed, spotting something partially buried beneath a tangle of roots. He dug cautiously, uncovering a small, intricately carved totem depicting a wolf star and a human hand intertwined, a symbol of unity. "This is amazing," he said, holding it up to the light, the intricate details glistening in the sun. "It's just like the stories said." The wolf star approached, sniffing the totem curiously. Taro felt a rush of triumph. "This will help prove that we can coexist," he said, excitement bubbling in his chest. With the totem safely tucked in his satchel, they continued to explore, their spirits lifted by this new discovery. As they wandered deeper into the woods, Taro began to notice changes in the forest's atmosphere. The vibrant life around them seemed to dim slightly, a sense of unease creeping into the air. The trees, once alive with birdsong and rustling leaves, now felt still, as if holding their breath. Taro looked up at the wolf star, sensing its growing tension. "Do you feel that?" he whispered. The wolf star's ears perked up, its muscles tensing as it scanned the surroundings. "We should be careful," Taro suggested, his heart pounding. They pressed on cautiously, the thrill of discovery now mingling with a growing sense of dread. As they turned a corner, Taro suddenly froze. Ahead, a group of Ryan soldiers stood blocking their path. Their blue skin glimmered in the sunlight, and their harsh features were twisted with anger. Taro felt a surge of fear, but quickly reminded himself of the strength he now possessed. "Stay behind me," he whispered to the wolf star, who growled low in its throat, ready to defend him. "Look what we have here," one of the soldiers sneered, stepping forward. A human child playing with a monster. Did you think you could escape us? The others laughed, their voices filled with malice. Taro's heart raced. He could feel the danger closing in, but he also felt the fierce loyalty of the wolf star beside him. "We're not afraid of you," Taro said, summoning courage. "The wolf star is not your weapon. It's my friend, and together, we're fighting for a future where humans and wolf stars can live in peace." The Ryan soldiers exchanged incredulous glances, their laughter dying down. "Peace? With that beast?" Another soldier scoffed. "You're delusional. It's nothing more than a mindless killer." "No," Taro shouted, the words spilling from his lips. "It's more than that. The wolf star has the ability to bond with humans. You're wrong about it, just like you're wrong about us." The lead soldier took a step closer, his eyes narrowing. "You think you can change the way we see things? You're just a boy. You have no power here." But Taro stood his ground, feeling the warmth of the totem in his satchel, a reminder of what he was fighting for. "We're gathering evidence of our history, evidence that shows we can work together. If you think you can stop us, you're mistaken." At that moment, the wolf star let out a deep, resonating growl, its eyes locked on the soldiers, filled with defiance. The creature was a powerful presence, and Taro could feel the energy radiating from it, a silent promise that they would not back down. The lead soldier hesitated, taken aback by the fierce determination emanating from both Taro and the wolf star. "You're playing a dangerous game," he warned, his voice low and threatening. "The Ryans will never accept a human and a wolf star together. You are fools to think otherwise." "Maybe," Taro replied, his voice steady, "but we're willing to try. And if we fail, at least we tried to change the world." The soldiers shifted, uncertainty creeping into their ranks. They had always relied on fear and control, but here stood a boy and a creature defying their expectations. Taro's heart raced as he sensed the shifting dynamic. "Let us pass," Taro demanded, feeling the weight of his words. "We have a mission to complete, and if you harm us, you will only strengthen our resolve." The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. Taro could see the conflict within them, their loyalty to their orders battling against the uncertainty of what they were witnessing. After a tense silence, the lead soldier waved his hand dismissively. "This isn't over, human," he warned, stepping aside reluctantly. "But we'll be watching you." Taro felt a rush of relief, but knew this was only the beginning. As he and the wolf star moved past the soldiers, he glanced back, determination burning in his eyes. "We'll prove you wrong," he vowed. Once they were safely out of earshot, Taro turned to the wolf star, who had remained by his side, its presence reassuring. "I can't believe we faced them," he said, breathless with adrenaline. "But we need to be careful. They won't stop watching us." The wolf star nudged him gently, as if to remind him that they were not alone in this fight. They had allies now, friends who believed in their cause and were willing to stand by them. After that encounter, Taro and the wolf star continued their search for relics, knowing the urgency had grown. They ventured deeper into the woods, each step fueled by the knowledge that their actions could change the fate of their peoples. The trees grew thicker, the air heavy with anticipation. Hours passed as they combed through the forest, uncovering more signs of their shared history. Each relic they found, a small carving, a fragment of pottery, a piece of jewelry, added to the tapestry of their story. With each discovery, Taro felt their resolve strengthening. They were building a bridge that could connect their worlds. Finally, as the sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Taro spotted something gleaming near the base of a massive oak tree. "Look," he exclaimed, rushing forward. As he knelt down to examine it, he discovered an ancient stone tablet, its surface covered in intricate carvings that seemed to pulse with energy. "This is incredible," Taro breathed, tracing the lines with his fingers. "It must be a record of the pact between humans and wolf stars." The wolf star approached cautiously, sniffing at the stone, its eyes wide with recognition. Taro's heart raced as he realized this could be the evidence they needed to convince others of their shared history. "We have to get this back to the village," he said, carefully lifting the tablet. As they made their way home, the forest felt different. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, replaced by a sense of hope and possibility. Taro could almost envision the villagers gathering around as he unveiled their findings, their faces lighting up with understanding. When they finally returned to the village, Taro was greeted by a crowd of eager faces. His heart swelled with pride as he shared their discoveries, the totem, the figurine, and now the tablet. "We found these relics that show the bond between humans and wolf stars," he declared, holding the tablet high for all to see. Gasps of amazement filled the air as the villagers stepped forward, examining the artifacts with newfound respect. "This is incredible," Mira exclaimed, her eyes shining. "This changes everything." Taro felt the energy of the crowd surge as they began to discuss the implications of their findings. The air was filled with excited chatter, plans forming as they considered how to present their evidence to the council and the Ryans. Taro knew they were on the brink of something monumental. But just as the excitement reached its peak, a shadow loomed over them. Taro looked up to see a group of Ryans approaching, their blue skins stark against the twilight sky. Taro's heart sank. They had come to confront him again. "What is this?" the lead Ryan demanded, glaring at the gathered villagers and the artifacts. "Are you conspiring against us?" Taro stepped forward, feeling the weight of their gazes. "We're not conspiring," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We're trying to create a future where humans and wolf stars can coexist." The Ryans exchanged skeptical glances. "You think you can change the way we see things with these trinkets?" The lead soldier scoffed, crossing his arms. "You are naive." "No, we're not," Taro replied, his voice rising with determination. "These artifacts tell a story, our story. They show that we were once allies, and we can be again." The crowd behind him murmured in agreement, emboldened by Taro's words. "You have seen the wolf star as a weapon, but it is so much more," Taro continued, passion igniting within him. "If you would only listen, you would understand." The Ryans remained unmoved, their expressions cold. "We will not be swayed by tales and relics," the lead soldier declared. "The wolf stars are tools of war, and that is how they will remain." Taro felt frustration boiling within him, but he refused to back down. "This is not just a tale. It's a history that can heal our worlds. We have to open our hearts to the possibility of peace." The Ryans' faces hardened, and Taro could sense their determination to resist change. "You're wasting your time," the lead soldier said, turning to leave. "We will be watching, and if you continue down this path, you will regret it." As the Ryans retreated, Taro felt a wave of disappointment wash over him, but he quickly realized that this was not the end. They had made progress, and the villagers were beginning to believe in a new future. "We have to keep fighting," he urged his friends, determination igniting anew. "This is just the beginning." As night fell over the village, Taro gathered with the villagers around a fire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. They shared stories of hope and resilience, their spirits intertwined with the promise of change. Taro felt a sense of camaraderie with his fellow villagers, a bond forged through shared dreams and collective strength. With the artifacts safely displayed in the center, Taro made plans for the days ahead. They would organize a council meeting, invite representatives from the Ryans, and present their findings. "We will show them that the wolf star is not a monster, but a symbol of hope," Taro declared, feeling the fire of conviction burning within him. As the night wore on, Taro sat quietly beside the wolf star, feeling a sense of peace settle over him. They had faced adversity, but together, they were ready to challenge the darkness. With each passing day, they would gather strength, build connections, and work toward a future where humans and wolf stars stood side by side. Under the vast expanse of the starry sky, Taro felt a deep sense of purpose. The gathering storm of change was upon them, And with the Wolf Star at his side and the support of his community, he was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would carve a path forward, one that honored their shared history and illuminated the way to a brighter tomorrow.